name that way, actually.
Uh,
Well, welcome to class, Raphael.
well, thank you.
Yeah, in today's class, we're going to be talking about idioms, phrases, and vocabulary associated with travel. So, if you're a frequent traveler or if you plan on traveling to an English-speaking country, it's important to understand certain phrases so that you can get the most out of your trip and understand everything, experience your vacation to the fullest.
Yes, I believe it is very important.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of different topics and ideas and phrases and vocabulary associated with travel, and there's too many to cover everything in 60 minutes. So this is sort of a condensed lesson, and of course we don't include everything because there are so many situations that you can run into when you travel. So we'll be doing both reading and speaking in this class. I've saved the reading as an attachment to this class, so you should be able to view it. If you have problems viewing it, let me know. I'll try to re-upload it. Sometimes people can't view it, or sometimes there's just something weird with technology. So if you do have a problem viewing it, you can also send me a message, and I can send it to you privately. Yeah. Again, today's class is going to be about travel, so we'll be doing some reading, and we'll also be doing some speaking today. So we have Raphael, we have Victor. Victor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Roberto. How about
you? Good. It's pretty early right now on the East Coast.
I see.
Yeah, you don't see the sun. It's about 8 o'clock.
8
o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so my throat's a little bit dry. I think it might be because it's starting to get cold and the air is getting very dry. So if my
don't lose your voice.
yeah, if my voice starts like cracking and I need a break, I apologize, but that's just Pennsylvania and East Coast winters. It's kind of part of it. So welcome, Raphael, Victor. We also have Sajid. Sajid, where are you calling from?
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, you are saying Sajid. Basically, it's Sajid.
Sajid?
Yes.
Okay, that's better. That's sort of a different sound in English. Sometimes it's hard for Americans to have that last like pronunciation, very like quick, like going up at the end. But I'll do my best, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. We have Mustafa. Mustafa, welcome.
Welcome back, teacher. How are you?
Good. I'm seeing a couple of familiar faces today. We also see Mateo.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, yeah. It's pretty early, like I was saying. It's about 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not that early, but...
just 5 hours different. Yeah, in Italy, it's 1 p.m.
Oh, okay, yeah, 5. So it's you're in the afternoon over in Italy right now. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about travel. We also have Anna. Or is it Anna or Anna?
Anna.
Anna, okay.
Anna.
All right, well, welcome to class, Anna.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about travel. Anna, is there a reason you want to learn about talking about travel today?
Yes. Sorry. Can you repeat Can you repeat, please?
Sure. So why do you want to learn about travel? Is it important to you?
Well, from my point of view, travel is important when you enjoy the trip, and you can know many or a lot of different places, culture. Monuments, and many things. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't travel because I have a food allergy.
Oh.
It's very difficult to go abroad with
Mm.
other kind of food. Is
Yeah. Yeah, definitely if you have an illness or something like that, it can be difficult to travel for sure.
Yes.
It's still good to understand some of these the things we're going to be talking about today are still useful um, in understanding just in general in understanding English. So even if you don't plan on traveling in the near future, some of the information will still be useful to you.
Of course, I agree.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like I was saying, we're going to be talking about three main topics associated with travel. So we will be talking about information related to the airport, information related to hotels, information to or related to like conversations and sort of more like general travel information, and then sort of at the end, we will, or at the end of the reading, and again, you all should be able to view that reading, we will look at some commonly used idioms about travel, about things that people use when traveling. And they're very, very common in the United States, at least, when people are traveling using these idioms. So you guys should all have that reading. We also have, I think we were just joined by Kevin. Kevin, where are you from?
Hello, teacher. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm from Japan.
Okay, from Japan. Well, welcome. We're going to be talking about traveling today.
Nice.
Yeah, nice, exactly. I'll ask you, Kevin, why do you want to learn a little bit about travel information and phrases and vocabulary?
Actually, I like to travel around here, Japan, in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and we really need to use English on Thailand, Philippines, and Singapore. So I need to improve it.
Okay, so
And
it's useful to you.
yes, yes, it is.
Okay, good. I'm going to ask Victor. Victor, why is there a special reason that you want to learn about travel, or is it just in general something interesting to learn?
Just in general, yes. I'm
Okay.
interested about every aspects of English.
Okay, good. That's a
I want to
good
be able to
attitude.
speak about anything.
Good. That's a good attitude to have. Good. So, I guess one thing that before we get started, there are a couple of, or one thing that I want you to remember is that there are two main words that you'll hear a lot when talking about someone that's like going on a period of traveling. And that's vacation and holiday. So you might have heard both of those words, and they mean the same thing. It's whenever you go on a vacation, you go traveling somewhere for fun. It's the same thing or it's the same meaning of holiday. So if you see both of those words when talking about traveling, they mean the same thing. Before we get started, I have a couple of general questions for all of you about your experience with traveling. The first question that I have is, do you like to travel? Why or why not? So I'm going to ask Mustafa, do you enjoy traveling?
It's depend on the purpose of my travel.
Okay. Can you say more?
Yeah, I can elaborate more. Uh, Almost always I enjoy traveling actually, if it was for maybe for fun or for enjoy chill out or relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with a friend or something like this. Sometimes it's being maybe difficult time when you go out to travel for maybe purpose of studying or have a course or something like this business. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe you don't even have time to enjoy and see the places there, something like this. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you like traveling. There are some ways it sounds like that you enjoy traveling more than other times.
Yep.
Okay, good. Who has traveled to a recent or to another country recently? Has anyone here traveled to another country recently? I would say we can say in the last year.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Mateo, where did you travel to?
Recently, I was in two countries, Florida, near you,
Yeah, yeah.
and Panama. In
And Panama.
yeah, Panama.
Wow, wow. So you did a couple that's long for Italy. That's a long flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
I lovely this topic, but I travel just for business,
Mhm. Okay.
and after I put together a little bit holiday, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. After it depends on if you're traveling for business, sometimes you can try and find fun things to do while while
Yeah,
you're at a new place. Good. If you could go on holiday anywhere in the world, where would you go? I'm going to ask Sajid. Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
would like to go. Yes. Actually, I muted my microphone.
Oh, okay. I can hear you now, so that's good.
Okay. I would like to go to Zurich, the part of
Zurich.
Switzerland. Yeah.
Very cool. And is there a special reason why you would like to visit there?
Just visit there for see the nature. There are
Okay.
natural things. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of Zurich, and it does look beautiful. Very
Zurich
beautiful.
or another state of United States, Alaska.
Oh, Alaska. Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like Alaska, you have to understand what you're getting into, because Alaska can be it's very cold, so you have to be careful when you visit Alaska. But I have heard that Alaska is very, very beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. And
Yeah. Anna, if you could travel anywhere in the United States, where would you like to go? Or not in the United States, sorry, in the world, where could you go?
Mm, I can understand the question. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. If you could go or travel anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
Okay. I'd like to go to London. Of course, I love to visit this city, or for example, the place where the Beatles
Mm.
were born.
Oh, we're born. Um,
Yes.
Yeah,
uh,
there's a very famous area I think it's in London, Abbey Road, and it's where they took the picture of their one of their albums. It's very famous. And yeah,
yes.
yeah, you could visit there if you ever go.
Moreover, my husband is a fan of Beatles since he was a child.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Because in the 60s, my husband already listened this music when the Beatles no one known them.
Yeah, the Beatles are very popular for sure still, even though they've been around for quite a few years.
Yes, but in this time, they went so well now than after certain moment
So
or certain time.
so your husband was a fan of the Beatles before they were famous?
Yes, and the Bee Gees too, and the Bee
Oh,
Gees
the Bee
too.
Gees. Wow. So your husband should let us know what's going to be popular soon. maybe in the next couple of years?
This music was a bit strange in Spain in that time.
Yeah, so people were like, "Oh, what is he listening to?"
Yes, okay. All people was shocked when they listen the music that like my husband.
Yeah, I understand. So that would be London would definitely be an interesting place for you both to visit someday.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool. The next question that I have is about when you are traveling. Do you prefer holidays where you travel around and stay in different places, or do you prefer staying in one place? So some people have a preference. I'm going to ask Raphael.
Okay, maybe I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to traveling because I've never traveled abroad.
Okay.
I've been traveling around my country, and I'm not sure if you agree with me, but sometimes I think it's a shame when you say, "Oh, I've been to England, I've been to United States," and you know nothing about your country.
Oh, yeah, I agree for sure. It's good
Yeah, and
to,
it happens a lot with my friends.
yeah,
They have
there's so much to
a
see
lot of
where you
countries
live.
they know nothing about Brazil. And if you look at the map, my country is very big.
Yeah, I was just going to
There's a
say there's
lot
a
to know.
lot to see and a lot to discover. So when you are traveling around Brazil, do you prefer to, like if you go to a new place in Brazil, do you like to just stay in that one spot and see it, or do you like to do a lot of different like places and maybe like sort of like a road trip, we would say?
It depends on the situation. For example, now I realized that when we rent a house for days or for a week, it is uh, less expensive. So that's what I've been doing now. And I've been traveling with my cousins. So when we go to a place and everything is close to the house that we rented, we stay only in one place. But if we go to a different state and we intend to go to a different place in this state and it's not very close to each other, if you know what I mean, we rent more than one place.
Okay. So it depends on what kind of trip you have planned.
Yes.
It seems like if you plan on doing a lot of moving around, then that's
Hmm.
sort of what you do. Yeah. We say that if you are going on a road trip, it's a trip where you're like in the car pretty much all day, and you sort of just like stay overnight in different places.
Yes. And I can say that I also like to stay at hostels sometimes
Oh
because you
yeah.
know different people. For example, I don't need to go far away from my home to speak English because if I go to a place called Ilha Grande, if I translate that into English, I would say that it's called Big Island. It's very close to my home, and when I go there, it's so weird and interesting at the same time because it doesn't seem that I'm in Brazil because I speak English there.
Yeah,
Most of the
yeah.
tourists speak English.
Brazil is it's a very hot tourist attraction. People love to, I know a lot of people from the United States go to Brazil on vacation. So I have no doubt that you get to, that you meet a lot of new people when you travel around Brazil.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Um, so the next thing I want to ask you guys very quickly before we start looking at the reading, do you think it is important to find out about the culture and customs about a country before you visit it? So this is sort of like a maybe a little more complex question, but do you think it's important to understand a little bit about like certain customs, about a country before you visit there? Do you think that that is important? I'm going to ask, I think Raphael, did you start talking?
Yes, I think it is extremely important. As I've said before, I've never been to a different country. I've never traveled abroad, but a friend of mine went to, I'm not sure, but I think it's London recently, and he got so frustrated. And I think we must respect different cultures because sometimes we behave uh, one way in Brazil, and we may think that it's fine in a different country, and actually it is not. Because he
Mhm.
went to England in order to practice his English, and when you come to Brazil, you can come to Brazil by yourself. You don't need to bring friends because you're going to make a lot of friends walking on the street. If you ask for directions, uh, you may uh, talk to this person, and you can start a conversation
Mhm.
even with a stranger. But
Very cool.
he told me that he couldn't do that in London because people was thinking that he was about to steal something from
Oh,
them.
yeah, yeah.
And he got so frustrated because he said that it was the worst place he could go to practice English.
Oh no, yeah. I don't know too much about London because I've never been there, but there are sometimes in bigger cities, um, people will sometimes, especially when there's like a lot of people around, sometimes we call it like a little bit standoffish, meaning they don't want to have a conversation, especially depending on if you're maybe like in the subway or you're traveling when you're in a bigger city, sometimes like at the bus people will not want to have a conversation. So I'm sure that you can find places where people want to have a conversation, but it might be a little bit more difficult if you are not from that country or if you don't do some research before you go and visit. So yeah, I'm sure that would have been frustrating for your friend. It sounds like Brazil is very friendly.
Ah, yes, we are.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Sounds
can
very,
come to Brazil by yourself, and you're not going to feel lonely.
wow, that sounds great. Sounds very sounds like a good place for people to visit for sure. And I know it's very big, so there's so much to see.
Hmm.
Very cool. Good. So now that I have a little bit of information about your experience with travel, I'm going to pull up the reading. The first section is about information that you will see at the airport. So I'm going to, let's see, pull that up and screen share it with you guys. Again, you should all be able to see it. You should all be able to view this already, as it is an attachment for the class. If you cannot view it though, we're still I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can see it. Let me make it bigger because I know it's very small whenever I first pull it up. Is it okay now? Is it still too small, or can everyone see this?
I see.
Okay. Thank you for
A
letting me
bit
know.
bigger, please.
A little bit bigger? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So this should be okay now.
It's
We're going to start with useful travel vocabulary at the airport. And some of these I'm sure you guys will are very familiar that you've already seen, but it's still good to sort of have a review. So at the airport, can I hear from Victor? Can you read number 1 and 2, please?
arrive. Usually refers to when you will get to where you want to go. For example, you should arrive at the airport at least 2 hours before your flight leaves. Departure refers to an outgoing flight. For example, the captain or pilot of the plane might say, "We are expecting an on-time departure," to let the passengers know that the plane will leave on time.
Okay, so these are two pretty common words, vocabulary words that you will see if you are at an airport where they have some English speakers. For example, and this is one that I hear a lot whenever you first get on a plane, we are expecting an on-time departure. the captain or pilot might say that just to let you know that the plane's going to leave on time. The next one, we have number 3 and 4. Can I hear from Sajid? Sajid, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, can you read number 3 and 4, please?
yes. Security. Reference to the process that passengers must go through before they can get on a plane. In this process, passengers usually have their luggage examined to make sure it is safe to go on the plane. Terminal N, section of an airport where you can purchase tickets, transfer your luggage, and go through security.
Okay, so security is, I'm sure if any of you have traveled by plane, for most places you have to sort of, like there's a point where people will want to go through your luggage to see what you're bringing with you. And a lot.
My nightmare.
Yeah.
The security. Wow. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely, depending on where you're going, it takes a long time, right? Sometimes it'll take,
Unfortunately, in your country.
I know, America, the USA, it
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
a very long time. Anytime I travel, I leave the USA, it's very easy. But if I want to get back into the USA, it takes a long time to get back.
For the United States, all people in all of the world, it's terrorist.
Oh yeah, it definitely it's one of those things that I've traveled to a lot of places. I've traveled abroad, and I'm still every time I need to come back to the US, I make sure that I'm there 2 or 3 hours ahead of time just to get through security, because I know it's going to take a long time.
Even if you are from USA, as I think.
Yeah, I'm from the US. I still takes a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
it's
fact, next travel, I not passed with United States, but another country.
yeah, it's you definitely have to time it if you go to the United States. You have to be careful with your time. Once you get here, once you get in, it's okay, but it's getting through security and things like that.
No, also getting through. Also, it's same.
Mm-hmm.
In my last travel, it's same because I stopped in the United States just for through for changed fly for
Oh,
going to Panama. Okay,
okay.
okay. The same security,
Yeah,
same.
yeah. So
Oh
even
my
if you're not going to be visiting here, you're just stopping here, it still takes a long time.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Well, yeah, security is we say security is tight. Means we
For me, it's a nightmare. Nightmare.
It's definitely, I've had nightmares about it, real nightmares about going through security and waking up and saying, "Oh, I'm late for my flight," right? All because of security. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely something to think about. The terminal, we know, is the section where you can like do lots of things. You can get your ticket, transfer luggage, go through security. Boarding is when you just to get on the plane. That's another way. The word that they use in the airport is boarding. And then we have customs, and this is another fun process to go through when you are traveling. It's the section of the airport where passengers must say or declare what they are planning on bringing into the country. So when so you might, whenever you arrive, for example, if you arrive into the United States, you will have to wait in line for also a very long time in this section before you can enter the country. You have to declare, they call it declaring, what you are bringing with you. So even whenever I come back, if I go abroad and I come back into the United States, they will say, "Why did you go to Mexico?" what are you bringing with you? And I have to declare or say everything that I'm bringing with me. Any, like, we call them souvenirs, or things that I brought back with me that I want to keep, or things like that, or that I want to, like, presents or gifts from a country. So you have to say what you are bringing back with you, and that's customs. Let's do number 7 and number 8. Raphael, can you read number 7 and number 8?
Yes, I can. Carry on. This is the bag that you bring on the plane with you, and lay over any extra time that you have between flights. For example, if you are flying from the US to Spain and your flight stops in Portugal for 2 hours, you have a 2-hour layover.
Okay, so that's just another word for the time between flights. I'm sure some of you might have some horror stories about very long layovers. I know I've had some very long, like, overnight layovers. Sometimes when if you had like a flight that was delayed, your layover might be for like 8 hours or something like that. I know I've had very long layovers before. And then this next one, we have 9 and 10. Let's hear from Mustafa. Can you read number 9 and 10?
Okay. Get lag. The tired feeling that some people experience when they travel to a different time zone. And 10, turbulence.
Turbulence,
During
good.
turbulence
Mm-hmm.
during a flight. Sometimes the plane will hit pockets of air, which causes it to shake. This is called turbulence.
Okay, so the first one is jet lag, and you might have a different word for this in your language, but in English we call it jet lag. It's the feeling that you get whenever you travel to, for example, if I would travel to, even in the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast, there is a time difference. So I might even be tired if like East Coast and West Coast time are very different. I might be very tired very early, and then be very awake at night, depending on where you travel to. That's called jet lag.
Usually, for me, that's happen when I come back in Italy.
Yes.
I'm tired for 2 weeks.
Yeah, some people.
Always tired.
Yeah, it depends on where you're traveling. I've traveled to, I went to Thailand from the United States, and I was wide awake at night, and then during the day I was very, very tired. It sometimes can take a couple of weeks, yeah, to get used to it. And I don't know if there's really a cure for jet lag, but it's definitely very
Yeah.
common. Yeah.
You should take for this problem melatonin, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The melatonin. It's
Melatonin.
Yeah, we call it melatonin. It can help you to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's everyone has their little tricks that they use to try to get over jet lag. I just did coffee. That was my cure.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I take this melatonin, but after I sleep more. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, yeah. It depends. It totally depends. Jet lag can be quite tricky.
Yeah.
And then the last one is turbulence. Sometimes during a flight, the plane will shake, so you'll be up in the air, and it can be a little bit scary. And the people on the flight, the captain might say, "We are hitting some turbulence. Make sure you take your seat." It just means like the plane is gonna be shaking a little bit. Um, Phrases or questions that you might encounter at the airport. They ask you a lot of questions, so these are not all of them. But going through security or customs, you might hear some of these things. Mateo, can you read
Yeah.
these things that you might hear when going through security or customs?
Okay. welcome to
You can
United
just say
States.
blank. Yeah. Welcome to blank.
Okay. May I see your passport? What's the purpose your visit? How long are you staying? Do you have anything to declare? Where are you staying during your visit? Is this your luggage and are you the one who's packed it? Have you ever lost possession of your luggage since you packed it? Please take your seat. We are experiencing some turbulence.
So these are some things you might hear when going through security or customs. If you're going through customs, they might say, do you have anything to declare? It means, what are you bringing with you into this country? They might say, where are you staying during your visit? They also ask, is this your luggage? And are you the one who packed it? They want to know if anyone else has helped you pack your luggage. And that's usually to understand if someone else packed it. They want to know because if there's something like illegal and you say, well, my friend packed it or a stranger packed it for me, then they will say, I need to go through your everything that you brought with you. So it's they have a lot of different questions that they might ask you. Any questions or comments about this section before we move on to the next one? Okay, so the next section is at the hotel. So can I hear from Anna? Can you read about these first two types of hotels?
Yes. At the hotel, types bed and breakfast, a smaller type of hotel that offers breakfast and is usually part of someone's home. Hostel, shared housing that is usually cheaper than other type of hotels.
Okay, so we have two types so far. A bed and breakfast is usually, it can be part of someone's home. They usually only have 10 or fewer rooms that people can stay in. And sometimes if you stay at a bed and breakfast, you might have to share a bathroom. With a hostel, you would share a bedroom with, it could be several other people, and you would probably share a bathroom with a lot of other people too. But it's also a very popular way of traveling because it can be very, very cheap, and you get to meet a lot of people if you travel, if you stay at hostels when you're traveling. The next two, let's hear from Victor. Actually, Victor, I'm going to have you read the last three, please.
Okay. Guest house, another name for a bed and breakfast type of hotel. Resort, a type of hotel that is usually big and specialized in relaxation. Inn, another name for a bed and breakfast type of hotel.
Okay, so a bed and breakfast, a guest house, and an inn are all very, very similar. And then we have resort is usually very big. They might offer massage. They might offer a lot of other things, like a resort. They also might help you plan different outings at a resort. Sometimes they'll have they'll have multiple pools and spas and things like that at a resort. Yeah, it's like a resort and spa. They usually call them both together.
Okay.
Okay. And then here's some vocabulary. I'm sure if you've stayed at a hotel in the United States or in English or in any English-speaking country, you will have seen these words. We have front desk. It's usually the first thing you see when you enter a hotel. This is where the person will give you your room key. They'll answer any questions that you have or help you out with that. What was that, Mateo?
No, it's me, Sajid.
Sajid, okay. Can you repeat that?
I said reception?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Front desk or reception. Good. The next one we have is reservation. It refers to the room that you reserved. So if you would call a hotel, they might say, do you have a reservation? Do you want to make a reservation? So that's just like another word for the room that you want. Rates are the cost of staying at a hotel. So they might say, or you might ask, what are the rates to stay at this hotel? To check in is when you arrive at the hotel and receive your room key. That's when you check in. When you check out, that's when you leave the hotel and give back your room key. Okay. Sajid, can you read these two in blue?
Okay, room service. A service at most hotels where you can ask for food to be brought to your room. Amenities. The services offered by the hotel. These include swimming pool, free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, etc.
Okay. So room service is if you're hungry or you don't want to leave the hotel, you can order room service. It's where the people at the hotel will make the food and bring it to your room. One thing about room service, though, is it's usually very expensive. It's usually a lot
They
more
charge
expensive.
extra.
What was that, Sajid?
I said they charge extra.
Yeah.
Room service.
Yes, they definitely charge more. Sometimes they won't have the prices listed when you look at it, and then you get your bill whenever you leave, and it's very, very expensive. So yeah, room service can be expensive, but sometimes people just don't want to leave. They might want to stay in their hotel. And then amenities are just things that the hotel offers. Swimming pool, free breakfast, Wi-Fi, lots of other things can be amenities. And then the last one, this is my favorite, continental breakfast, usually a free breakfast offered to hotel guests. So before I stay at a hotel, I always ask, do you have continental free breakfast? And if they say yes, then I say, I will stay at your hotel, because this is usually my favorite part. Continental breakfast is when they'll usually have like, it depends on the hotel, but they'll have bread and juice and maybe yogurt and lots of other breakfast things. And it's usually for free, but you have to ask this before you stay, because sometimes it's not always free, but sometimes it's free. And then this last one, we have a dialogue of someone reserving a room using common.
Excuse me.
Sure. Sajid?
It means if any hotel name is Continental Hotel, so it means everything is free there.
That I wish. That's a good question. I don't think so. If you find a place like that, though, let me know, because that's where I will stay. If it's a free hotel,
Okay.
everything free. Good one, Sajid. So yeah, this next one is just a conversation of people reserving a room using common phrases and questions. So we have A and B. I'm going to ask Raphael, can you be A? And Mustafa, can you be B? And I will scroll down and follow the conversation as you guys are reading it.
Okay. I'd like to reserve a hotel room.
That should be no problem. May I have your full name, please?
My name is John Sandals.
Hello, Mr. Sandals. My name is Michelle. What days do you need that reservation, sir?
I'm planning to visit New York from Friday, April 14th until Monday, April 17th.
Our room rates recently went up. Is that okay with you, Mr. Sandals?
How much per night are we talking about?
Each night will be $308.
That price is perfectly acceptable.
Wonderful. Do you prefer a smoking or non-smoking room?
No smoking, please.
Next question. Is a queen size bed okay?
That sounds fine.
Okay, Mr. Sandel, your reservation is in our computer. All we need now is a phone number.
Certainly, my phone number is 626 555 1739.
Thank you, Mr. Sandel. We look forward to seeing you in New York.
Okay, so this is for example, if you were staying in New York or calling to reserve a room, a hotel room in New York, this might be the type of conversation that you might have. And then you guys all have this on your copy. More dialogues like this can be found at this website. So there are plenty of different examples to look at.
Never I'm going in New York because one night is $380.
Oh yeah, this is
Expensive.
yes.
That's what I thought. It is not.
Yeah. New York is actually this might even be not that expensive. $308 is, I would say, average per night of staying in New York. Depending on where you are staying, it can be a lot more expensive than
That's a Trump Tower.
yeah. Yeah, you can find some good deals for staying in New York, but it's very easy to spend that per night in New York. New York is very, very expensive. To live there, it's at least $1,000 per month if you want to live just in rent. So it's very expensive to live in New York, but it's a beautiful city.
Same in London. Same in London.
Yeah. A lot of cities are like that. It's fun to visit for sure. So, and then this last section is just various travel vocabulary. We have sightseeing, so that's the act of visiting tourist attractions. Tour guide is the person who is in charge of showing you a tourist attraction. I mentioned earlier a souvenir is usually like a gift. It could be for yourself or for someone else that relates to your trip. So if you go somewhere, if you come to the United States and you want to buy a t-shirt from Florida, that's a souvenir. A day trip, this is pretty easy, a trip that only takes a day to complete. But we would say, if it only takes a day to get there, you can say, oh, you can be there and back in one day. It's a simple day trip. And then we have currency exchange, and this is the act of trading your currency for a type of currency that is accepted where you are traveling. So if you are coming from Italy to the United States, you have to change from the euro to the dollar. And if you come from Europe, you'll get more money in dollars because I think the dollar is not as strong as the euro right now.
It's a better change before in your country because the currency exchange office is very very not convenient.
Especially,
Yeah.
especially, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially in the airport.
Yeah, they'll take they charge a fee depending on where you exchange. Yeah. So sometimes I recommend not changing at the airport because I think it's more expensive at the airport actually. If you can do it sometimes even before you leave, or if you get something called a traveler's check, I think it's a lot less expensive. You can just go to a bank and get that changed. So there are a couple of different things to do, but currency exchange is something that most people, if you go from one country to another, depending on where you go, you might have to do that. Camping, a type of vacation where you sleep in a tent or outside in nature. So some people love to go camping. I sometimes don't like camping because there are bugs and things outside, but sometimes people really like camping sometimes.
And you sleep in the tent.
Yeah, you have to sleep outside. Sometimes you have to
I don't like the mosquito.
Yeah, there are a lot of, it depends on when you go. Some people camp in the winter time. when there's snow on the ground. So you wouldn't have mosquitoes then. Maybe that's when you can go camping, Mateo. And then the last one is a vaccination, injection or medicine that helps you to not carry or catch an illness when you travel. Many countries ask for travelers to get certain vaccinations before entering. So sometimes it depends on what country you're coming from, and depends on what country you're going to. They might ask you to have some vaccinations so you don't get sick whenever you're traveling somewhere. These last couple of sections, we have questions or phrases you might hear while traveling. Some things people might ask you or say to you. Where are you from? Of course. You guys all, I asked you all of that question today. How do I get to blank from here? People might ask you for directions. You might ask that question. What's your email? Let's keep in touch. Keep in touch means like if you make a friend or something and they say, I want to, let's email each other. I'll let you know when I'm in the United States. It's just keeping in contact with someone. What time does the museum close today? Or is it even open? Sometimes museums are closed when you want to visit them. So that's something you might have to ask somebody. When you are talking about traveling, things people might ask you, how was your trip? How was your flight? They might say, I had a killer layover in the airport. That might mean that person had a very long layover. People also always ask me, did you get any sleep on the plane? And my answer is always no, because I can never sleep on a plane.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah.
Can you repeat what does it mean? Kill a layover.
So
Long
a
time.
killer layover. A layover. Remember, we said layover is like the time that you have between flights. So if you had a killer layover, that's a bad thing. It means it's like you might have had to wait overnight.
Okay. It's
somewhere.
more time wait your flight. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then for people might say, did you get any sleep on the plane? And some people, it's very easy to sleep on the plane. Some people just can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes teacher about the layover, maybe it will be the reverse and it would be like a small time, short time, so you have to run.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Sometimes I would rather have a long layover than a short layover because if your flight is delayed and you only have a 45-minute layover, you have to run very, very, very fast. You might have to run to your next flight so that you don't miss it. So yeah, if it's too short, it's bad. If it's too long, it's bad.
But in case of long journey, so we can sleep in flight?
Yeah. Some people might sleep on the plane. I don't know about you, Sajid, but I cannot sleep on a plane. I just can't do it. I get very, very tired, but I can't sleep. So some people it's very easy for them to do.
The problem in the plane, it's a seat. It's a smaller.
Yeah. And I usually fly. It's uncomfortable, and I usually fly coach or like economy, because otherwise it can be very expensive if you try to fly
Business class.
Yeah, business class or first class. So yeah, I usually have a very, very small seat, but it's not too bad. These last section are kind of interesting. They're travel idioms, things that people talk about when they're traveling. If you are on a road trip and your friend keeps criticizing your driving and saying, oh, Raphael, you're going too fast, or Raphael, you're going too slow, that person is a backseat driver. You can say, stop being a backseat driver, okay? It's someone who is always criticizing your driving. And then a Sunday driver is someone who drives slowly and makes unexpected moves or maneuvers. So if someone is like a crazy driver, but they're very slow, you could say, oh my goodness, that person is a Sunday driver.
I'm
Okay.
Sunday driver.
Yeah, I think sometimes we all can be either a backseat driver or a Sunday driver. I'm more of a backseat driver for sure. I know it's very annoying, but I'm always saying, "Oh no, you took that turn too quickly," or something like that.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
In case someone drive fast, someone drive quickly, so
Uh-huh.
what idiom we will say about it?
If someone is a fast driver, I'm actually not sure. I know if someone is like very angry, we say they have road rage. Like if someone's an angry driver and they yell at other passenger or other drivers, you say that that person has road rage. I'll type it into the chat log. But that's the only, I'm not sure about like fast. I'm sure there are, but I would have to think about it. Number 3, we have greasy spoon. This usually is applied to restaurants, sometimes diners, where they serve very cheap fried or grilled foods. So just like a really inexpensive restaurant that serves maybe like sort of unhealthy food, you might say is a greasy spoon. But when you are on like a road trip, especially in the United States, you might run into a lot of greasy spoon restaurants. Pit stop is to stop for gas, snacks, beverages, visiting the restroom. We would say like, oh, I have to make a pit stop, I'm hungry, right? Or I need a drink, I need to make a pit stop. A red-eye flight, any flight departing late at night. If you are flying, if you're going to be in a flight or in a plane all night, you would say, I'm taking a red-eye back tomorrow, or I'm taking a red-eye to something, or I'm taking a red-eye to the United States tomorrow. Okay. This next one for the road. Having one or more of something, sometimes it'll be like a drink, before departing or before leaving. You might say, these muffins are great, or these sodas are great. I'll take one for the road. Okay, it's just another way of saying I'm going to have one more before I leave. Living out of a suitcase, to continuously travel from place to place. If you go on a road trip, you might say, I feel like I'm living out of a suitcase. I've been traveling for 5 days. Hit the road is to begin traveling. You might say, it was good to see you, but now let's hit the road. Okay, I gotta hit the road. I have to move on to my next place. Pedal to the metal. Has anyone ever heard this one?
Yes.
Yeah, what does it mean, Mustafa?
Yeah, as they are saying here, to accelerate or speed up, to go very speed.
Yeah. So I guess, Sajid, this is another way of talking about going very quickly. Accelerate or speed up means you're putting the pedal to the metal. Okay, so that might be another way of talking about driving very quickly. Off the beaten path, you could say the restaurant was off the beaten path, but it had the best food around. If it's like a restaurant or something that is out of the mainstream, maybe not a lot of people know about it. We have a Fleabag motel or a Roach motel. Very, very like cheap, maybe a low-priced hotel. And it might not be we say shabby, which means it might be very old, maybe not very clean. That's another way to describe a motel or a hotel. Running on fumes. If you're running out of gas, you can say, I'm running on fumes. If you want to call it a day, you can say you're done for the day. I'm going to call it a day. I'm done doing all this driving and sightseeing and traveling for today. Playing it by ear, you can say, I don't want to plan our day tomorrow. Let's just play it by ear. You want to not plan. Grab a bite or grab a bite to eat, you can say, I'm hungry, let's grab a bite. It's just whenever you want to get something to eat. And then this last one, who has heard this one? I bet Mateo, have you ever heard this phrase?
Yeah, when in Rome.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
What
pretty,
Rome?
yeah, it's
I
a very
I'm
common
saying just
one.
I'm saying just to show that you should do what local people do when you travel. I usually don't eat dinner this late, but oh well, when in Rome.
Yeah, so when in Rome just means it's a saying used to show that you should do what the local people are doing. Um,
Because in Rome, usually the people eat at the dinner.
hmm Yeah, they might be, well, it's not, it doesn't always have to do with dinner. I just use that as an example because when I visited Italy and we ate a lot later than I thought I was going to. It
Ah,
was
yeah,
like it
yes.
was like 8:30 and I was saying, "I'm really hungry. I want to eat now." And they said, "Oh no, we don't eat for another hour." So I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. In Italy, we have a time for lunch, for
"Uh-huh."
dinner, for
hmm
breakfast.
And the food is so good, I didn't want to wait. So that was my
Yeah.
problem. But I said, when in Rome. Okay. So we are out of time, but I hope you guys learned a little bit about some useful travel phrases. Let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you all have happy travels in the near future.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Bye,
you very much,
everyone.
Roberto.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bye
thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
See you
Bye, you
later.
too. Bye, see you later.